Have you ever felt that inexplicable chill down your spine? That moment when the shadows seem to dance with a life of their own? Welcome to Streamer Unknown, where we unravel the mysteries that linger in the realm of the unexplained. Join us as we question the very fabric of reality and delve into the chilling embrace of the paranormal. The Cursed Doll of Goose Creek. In the small town of Goose Creek, nestled at the edge of a dense and foreboding forest, lived a seemingly ordinary family. The Thompsons, a family of 4, led an idyllic life in their charming cottage on Cedar Street. Thomas and Margaret Thompson, the parents, were hard-working and loving, while their daughter Emily, a sweet 6-year-old with golden curls and innocent blue eyes, brought light to their lives. One day, as the Thompsons explored the town's quaint antique shops, they stumbled upon a peculiar store hidden in a narrow alley. Its sign, faded and barely visible, read, "The Curious Emporium." Drawn by an inexplicable force, the family entered the dimly lit shop filled with an array of oddities and curiosities. In the far corner of the shop, nestled among dusty shelves, was a collection of antique dolls. One doll in particular caught Emily's attention. It was a porcelain doll with hauntingly beautiful features. A delicate face, ebony hair cascading down her shoulders, and eyes that seemed to follow anyone who gazed upon her. The shopkeeper, a mysterious old man with a twisted smile, noticed Emily's fascination. "That one is special," he rasped, his voice sending shivers down their spines. "A doll with a history, a curse some say, but she brings good fortune to those who can endure." Thomas and Margaret, charmed by the doll's elegance, decided to purchase it for Emily. Unbeknownst to them, this seemingly innocent acquisition would unleash a nightmare upon their lives. The first night in their home with the doll, Emily clutched it tightly as she slept. Unsettling dreams plagued her, visions of the doll whispering sinister secrets in her ear. When she awoke, Emily couldn't shake the feeling that something had changed. Little did she know that the curse had begun its insidious work. As days passed, a palpable tension settled in the Thompson household. Unexplained occurrences became a daily ordeal. Objects moved on their own. Strange whispers echoed through the halls, and an eerie chill pervaded the air. Emily's once bright demeanor dimmed, replaced by a distant gaze that hinted at a growing darkness within her. The doll, now named Isabella by Emily, seemed to harbor a malevolent energy. Its porcelain eyes gleamed with an unnatural light, and a malevolent grin etched on its face sent chills down anyone who dared to look at it for too long. Thomas and Margaret, oblivious to the sinister force enveloping their home, attributed the strange happenings to mere coincidences. However, the veil between the normal and paranormal was thinning, and their blissful ignorance would soon be shattered. One evening, as the family gathered for dinner, a loud crash echoed from the living room. Rushing to the source of the sound, they found shattered glass surrounding Isabella. The family portrait, hanging on the wall above the doll, lay in ruins. Emily's eyes widened with terror, but she remained silent. The doll, seemingly unscathed, now sat atop the broken glass, its grin mocking the family. Unnerved but still skeptical, Thomas cleaned up the mess, chalking it up to a freak accident. As the days went by, the incidents escalated. Shadows danced across the walls, resembling twisted figures that seemed to reach out for the living. Unseen hands brushed against the Thompsons in the dead of night, leaving them awake and trembling. The once warm and inviting cottage transformed into a place of dread and despair. Emily's behavior became increasingly erratic. She spoke to Isabella in hushed tones, carrying on one-sided conversations that left her parents unsettled. The doll, seemingly animated by an otherworldly force, became a puppet master, pulling the strings of the Thompson family's unraveling sanity. The first victim of Isabella's curse was Thomas. Late one night, as he wandered through the dimly lit house, shadows enveloped him. Whispers echoed through the corridors, guiding him towards the living room. There, in the pale moonlight, he saw Isabella sitting atop a small table. Unable to resist the doll's eerie allure, Thomas approached it with a trance-like gaze. Suddenly, the room plunged into darkness. Margaret awoke to an anguished scream, rushing to find her husband writhing in pain on the floor. Dark tendrils seemed to emerge from Isabella, intertwining with Thomas's body. Margaret, panicked and desperate, grabbed the cursed doll and threw it across the room. The shadows recoiled, releasing Thomas from their grip. Gasping for breath, he looked at Margaret with terror in his eyes, realizing the malevolent force that had taken hold of their lives. Fearing for their safety, the Thompsons decided to rid themselves of the cursed doll. They wrapped Isabella in layers of cloth and placed her in a locked chest in the attic. However, the damage had been done, and the curse had sunk its roots deep within the family. Margaret, haunted by the traumatic events, became obsessed with finding a way to break the curse. She delved into ancient texts and consulted mystics, seeking answers to the paranormal nightmare that had befallen her family. Meanwhile, Emily's innocence continued to wane, as the sinister force manipulated her every thought and action. One by one, the Thompsons fell victim to Isabella's curse. Shadows whispered dark secrets, turning family members against each other. The once joyous home echoed with anguished cries and the haunting laughter of the cursed doll. As the family crumbled, Margaret, now a shell of her former self, discovered a chilling truth. Isabella was not merely a vessel of darkness, but a conduit for a vengeful spirit that sought retribution. The spirit betrayed and wronged in life had latched onto the doll, using it as a vessel to wreak havoc upon the living. Determined to end the nightmare, Margaret devised a desperate plan. Armed with ancient rituals and a resolve born of desperation, she ventured into the heart of the haunted forest, guided by cryptic symbols and whispered incantations. The air in the forest grew thicker as Margaret approached an ancient, dilapidated mansion hidden among the trees. Inside, she confronted the vengeful spirit that tormented her family. A spectral figure emerged, revealing a tragic tale of betrayal and a thirst for revenge that transcended the realms of the living. Margaret pleaded for mercy, promising to break the cycle of pain that bound the spirit to the cursed doll. The spirit, its anger tempered by Margaret's sincerity, offered a cryptic solution. To sever the curse, a sacrifice was required, a willing soul to take the place of the one imprisoned within Isabella. Margaret, torn between her love for her family and the desperate need for redemption, made a heart-wrenching choice. Returning home, Margaret faced the inevitable. She gathered the remnants of her shattered family and confessed the horrifying truth. A tearful farewell ensued as she prepared to sacrifice herself to end the curse once and for all. In the attic, Isabella's porcelain eyes seemed to flicker with malevolent delight as Margaret, with a heavy heart, embraced her fate. The ritual began, a fusion of ancient magic and desperate hope. Shadows danced around the room as Margaret's sacrifice unfolded. As the final incantation left Margaret's lips, a blinding light enveloped the attic. Isabella, once a vessel of darkness, shattered into 1,000 pieces. The vengeful spirit, released from its torment, ascended into the ethereal plane, leaving behind a devastated family and a house tainted by the echoes of tragedy. The curse broken, the Thompsons were left to pick up the pieces of their shattered lives. The cottage, once a haven, stood as a haunting reminder of the horrors they had endured. The townsfolk, unaware of the supernatural ordeal that unfolded in their midst, went about their lives, oblivious to the lingering shadows that clung to the Thompson family. In the aftermath, as the forest whispered its secrets and the haunted mansion faded into obscurity, the tale of the cursed doll became a cautionary legend. The town of Goose Creek, forever changed by the supernatural events that unfolded within its borders, continued to thrive, its residents blissfully unaware of the dark forces that lurked in the shadows. And so the story of the Thompsons and the cursed doll faded into the annals of Goose Creek's history, a chilling reminder that some secrets are best left undisturbed, and that even the most innocent-looking dolls can harbor the darkest of intentions.